The sparkling atmosphere always follows Jungkook wherever he steps. Recently, photos of her departure from Incheon Airport heading abroad flooded social media again. Dressed in black from top fashion houses and surrounded by stylists, Jungkook looked stunning, full of confidence, like a global star who has forged himself for more than a decade. But behind all that, one question doesn't stop resonating among fans. Where is Park Jimin? It's not the first time Jimin's absence has sparked speculation. But this time, the silence was more subtle. In the past, they were known as an inseparable dynamic couple called the rich couple because of their lavish lifestyle and natural-looking closeness on screen and backstage. Now, the same term is on the rise again, but with a much more sarcastic nuance. Instead of celebrating togetherness, now the term is used to highlight Jimin's absence from Jungkook's global shadow. They always flew together. Now only Jungkook shines and Jimin is silent, wrote one fan account that sparked hundreds of other comments. Many of them refer to times full of jokes and warmth as in the show Are You Sure? The two of them were so close together as if there was no distance. Now, the cut of that moment begins to be compared to today's reality. Luxury, busyness, but without the presence of the figure who used to always be by Jungkook's side. Suspicions grew stronger after a viral clip emerged showing Jungkook joking with Taehyung in a seemingly warm interaction. For some fans, this isn't just another suave moment. Many thought the closeness indicated a change in dynamics within BTS's circle of friends, and that perhaps Jimin was being distant or kept away. It feels like 2018 all over again, said one ARMY veteran, recalling the year when the first rumors of a creative rivalry between Jimin and Jungkook began to surface. While there was no official statement from either side, fans felt there were too many cues to ignore. The cryptic lyrics on Jimin's Muse album about being erased from the frame, his absence on the new Variety project, and most prominently, no interaction at all on social media during this trip. A source in the Korean entertainment industry is said to have leaked to the media that tensions do exist, especially regarding the Jungkook unit project that was planned. Jimin wanted something intimate and full of emotion, the source said. But the direction of the proposed promotion is more towards the luxurious image that is now attached to Jungkook. And that's where the tug-of-war happens. And on the other hand, some ARMY believe this is just a strategy. It could be just a pause to build anticipation, said a TikTok post that suggested that public separation could be HYB's way of creating high demand for their recollaboration. His absence makes us miss him even more, and it makes the tickets sell out faster. But not all fans are optimistic. Jimin's last interview showed a more reflective tone. When asked about his plans, he simply replied, "I'm learning at my own pace." To many people, that sounds like a form of acceptance, that he's no longer at the center of the orbit. Meanwhile, Jungkook's schedule is never empty. Endorsements, music releases, photo shoots, everything goes without a shadow of Jimin's name, a cultural columnist at Left-Handed Mirror wrote. In the past, Jimin and Jungkook were like the yin-yang in BTS. The balance between softness and chaos was mesmerizing. But now they are walking their own paths. Maybe that's what we're actually seeing. The silence on the part of HYB only added to the mystery. There was no clarification as to whether Jimin was supposed to be on this trip or indeed chose not to be seen. In that information vacuum, the fan community is where speculation thrives, comparing old and new posts, looking for hidden symbols in lyrics and outfits, even trying to read the direction of their relationship from song lists and Instagram captions. But in the midst of all that turmoil, hope has not been extinguished. There are still many fans who choose to believe in something deeper, the invisible connection they have witnessed over the years. A fan at X uploaded a slow-motion clip of Jimin looking at Jungkook during Proof's rehearsal, writing, "Things like this can't be made up." Some industry players even see this break as part of the growing process. The two complement each other, but they also need space to develop on their own, says a veteran music producer who once worked with HYB. Perhaps, as Jimin wrote in one of his silent uploads, sometimes silence is the most powerful movement. That sentence, accompanied by a photo of a sunrise on Jeju Island, made many fans wonder, is that Jimin's way of saying that he knows everything and is waiting for the right time? Meanwhile, Jungkook continued to accelerate. But even though the sky is full of stars, some fans are still looking for Jimin's reflection in his steps, through twin rings, similar outfits, or even the word, trust, that has often appeared in Jungkook's interviews lately, a word that, according to many fans, is only aimed at one person. Now, their story has gone beyond just a career journey. It is already an emotional narrative that continues to pulsate between music, memory, and hope. Videos of theories, long essays, even fan-made documentaries have sprung up, trying to put the scattered pieces together. One of the videos ends with a sentence hanging in the air. The reunion is not about if, but when. And maybe that's where Jungkook's strength really is. They create mystery in the middle of an all-transparent world. In the silence of Jimin and the gleam of Jungkook, in the distance that is now striking, this narrative is not finished. It may have just begun, but like most stories that grow in a quiet space, not all questions get answers. And in the context of BTS, where every move, every look, even every pause between songs can beget speculation, the distance between Jimin and Jungkook becomes a fertile field for interpretation. Especially when both were once symbols of balance, not only on stage, but also in the hearts of millions of fans who watched their journey from trainee days to becoming global icons. Some fans even dug deeper into their respective latest releases. They recast lyrics that were thought to imply a sense of loss or misalignment. In Jimin's song Alone, there is a fragment that reads, "I keep sitting, waiting for the sound that does not come." Many associate it as a metaphor, not just for personal relationships, but also for changing professional dynamics. In contrast, in Jungkook's promotional interview for one of the brand's global campaigns, he mentioned that trust is the most important thing in my life. Speech is simple, but it triggers a long discussion. Is it just a general phrase, or a signal aimed at someone? Such gestures become the main ingredient of a narrative that never really stops moving. In various fan forums, small observations can develop into broad theories. For example, the appearance of Jungkook with a necklace similar to Jimin's in the past, or clothing patterns that seem to connect when seen in consecutive photos. Is this a coincidence? Or a tacit communication strategy in the midst of each other's busy lives? Interestingly, in the midst of this wave of speculation, there are also voices that invite to look at everything from a simpler point of view. That perhaps this is just a natural phase. Two individuals who grew up together for more than a decade, through pressure, fame, and drastic world changes, definitely need space to reimagine themselves. Not all distance means division, wrote one senior fan in his essay. Sometimes, it's the best way to find a new direction. But of course, this kind of narrative is never completely neutral. Because what's at stake isn't just about two boy group members pursuing solo careers, it's about something deeper. The relationships, trust, and collective expectations that have been formed over the years, and although HYB remained silent, it was precisely that silence that kindled the fire of speculation. In a world of entertainment dominated by algorithms, clicks, and viral momentum, absence can be the most powerful communication tool. One upload doesn't show up, one interaction doesn't happen, and the world speculates. Jungkook, as they are called, is not only a duo, but a phenomenon that continues to grow, even in its invisibility. This story is not finished. It may never be completely finished, but precisely because of that, it lives on, breathing in the imaginations, memories, and hopes of those who wait. Not just for the joint appearance, but for the clarity that did not come. And until then, fans remain clinging to one thing that never changes: the belief that true connection doesn't fade, it just rests.